Well, hello, you're very welcome to the Irish Independence League of Ireland review video this Friday night, joined by Dan McDonnell live from Oriel Park. I'm here at Tallaght Stadium where the champions kicked off their 2026 campaign, delayed, you should say, with 3 points, a really strong Dublin Derby victory over St. Pat's. Dan, I know you were at the Louth Derby. There was a lot going on off the pitch as well as on it. That finished 1-1. But I might start with you, if that's okay. Lot of flares, a lot of smoke, a lot of banners at the start of the game. First Louth Derby since late 2024. So I suppose just on the pitch and off the pitch, just sum up the night for us.
Well, I mean, I think what I'm looking at here now is things that came from off the pitch going onto the pitch was probably one of the main talking points, because coming here tonight, Oriel Park, the pitch is green, which is a big change, it must be said. The floodlights are visible. You had the Minister for Sport was here, various dignitaries, Kieran Donaghy, of course, because he works for the company that laid the new pitch. So a real sort of a bright sheen on the place, which is normally, even in the good old days, would be fairly dark. But yeah, obviously beforehand and after Drogheda's late equaliser, there was flares thrown on. So what I actually am watching at the moment is a number of men in bibs and various FEI officials and heads inspecting some of the damage to that corner. Now, look, I suppose we've seen flares thrown in the past. There's obviously more scrutiny on it because it's damaged this pitch and there's a lot of local anger. But I mean, you do, I don't like pearl clutching, but equally, you have sort of a capacity, well, not a capacity crowd, but almost a very lively crowd here today. And these are the things that can affect allocations and apply restrictions to the future games. And you sort of hope that isn't the case, because there was a great old atmosphere around beforehand, sort of on the edge of like edgy. And I suppose that's what we love about the league, when you have that. I think those of us who sort of love the league relish that stuff sometimes. But yeah, it's just unfortunate that there was some damage done there, and I guess there will have to be some form of sanctions. But in terms of the game itself, look, I suppose it probably feels flat for Dundalk fans leaving, because they were 2 minutes from a win. I think they would have forgotten a lot of their strife or issues with the away fans if they had the win and they had the old bragging rights, as they say. And they were relatively comfortable at 1-0. The subs that Kieran Kilduff made were seeing the game out. The likes of Horgan withdrawn, they were sort of changes to see out. And Drogheda, just like they had their moments. I mean, Thomas Lewis did miss a big chance at 0-0. They were lively enough in the second half. There was pressure, and Conor Kearns had been defending his box very well most of the night. He'd come out and claim some crosses, but yeah, I know Kevin Doherty doesn't like people going on about long balls, but I mean, it wasn't just a long ball into the box from Kieran Cruz with 2 minutes to go from deep. And yeah, Conor is a tale of two Conors, and Conor Keeley won it. Conor Kearns went down the tunnel of full time very unhappy. And yeah, Drogheda fans definitely happier because of the circumstances of the game.
Yeah, all square in the Louth Derby, from one derby to another. I was here at Tallaght, and Shamrock Rovers kicking off their title defence with a 2-0 win over St. Pat's. And long story short, in the first half, it was all one-way traffic. It was all Shamrock Rovers. I think it took 44 minutes for Pats to register their first real chance of the game. Victor Ojimvuna, which you wouldn't think, given the amount of attention that's been on him, the amount of minutes he saw last year, but it was actually his first league start for Rovers this evening. Adam Brennan coming in for his first league start as well. Adam Brennan picking up the club man of the match. He was absolutely superb at left wing back. Few lovely touches in the first half, and obviously capped it off with a late header to make it 2-0. A big team talk was needed by Stephen Kenny at halftime. It seemed to do the trick initially. They came out much better at the restart, hitting the post twice. I kind of feel like the turning point in the game was Ed McGinty's really impressive save, tipping Jamie Lennon's shot onto the post. I have to say, Ryan Edmondson, their English striker, arrival over the winter, he had 2 or 3 big chances to find an opener, fluff them all, just couldn't take them all. But Michael Noonan breaking the deadlock 20 minutes from time, I think just 1 minute after he came on. absolutely superb finish by the Ireland under-21 international, and 10 minutes later, Adam Brennan making it 2-0, and it was 3 points sewn up then. But yeah, obviously it was the delayed start of the season for Stephen Bradley's men, but they showed no signs of rustiness at all. And I suppose, Dan, from a St. Pat's point of view, we were talking about their record in Dublin derbies last year. I think they only won 2 out of 12, and they're still looking for not only their first derby win of 2026, but their first win of the new season as well.
Yeah, well, look, it's early in the new season to be killing teams for not winning games, but like it is just the broader Dublin derby point is the concern. I mean, they just need to get some momentum for going from somewhere to just create some vibes. And look, it sounds like there was moments in that game where it sort of got away from them. Where they could have turned the momentum. They had chances. It's got away from them in the end. I think it's ominous enough from Rovers. Like people speak about the age profile of their team, and yeah, you look at the young players, Adam Brennan coming in, and Oisín Bhuinan, Noonan. They still have some. They have some exciting players there, and some new ones coming in.
And I must say, just briefly, there were reports of some St. Pat's fans getting on to me that apparently a show Israel the Red Card banner was not allowed being brought into the stadium before kickoff. I spoke to someone of Rovers here, said they were aware and they'd be looking into that. So just to note that. But Dan, otherwise, that's a big win for Bohs away to Derry City. Dawson Devoy, there's been a lot of talk about him in the off season. One of the brightest prospects in the league, one of the best players in the league. He gets the winner, and that just puts on. I know we've made a lot out of the Derry's first 4 home games this season. That's not the start Derry wanted at all so far.
No, look, it's a disaster for them. Speaking to a couple of people just about that game, and yeah, they had a few chances, Derry, but I think Bohs, the story seems to be that they were quite comfortable defensively in a lot of ways. And look, that's a new sentence to be used about them, given what's been going on. I suppose the struggles they struggled. They suffered with at times last year, and obviously Hickey and Todd have come in and made a big impact. And yeah, I mean, Devoid a bit of quality. So there's 2 sides to the game. There's the Bohs excitement, and they head into Shamrock Rovers next week, the first home game at Dalymount, and the place will be buzzing. I think just with Derry, Waterford next Friday, it's the 4th game of 4. They need to get 3 points on the board because there will just be local unease there because of the expectation. You can't get away from it if you play for Derry City. If you play for Derry City, you'll experience that like in the shop, walking down the street, like whatever your role may be at the club. So yeah, there's a story of Bohs maybe turning a corner, and there's a story of Derry being in a bit of bother.
Well, you mentioned there, Derry have Waterford up next. The Blues could have had all 3 points tonight. Paul Jamin missing a penalty, and that one finished scoreless against Sligo Rovers, and it finished all square between Shelbourne and Galway United too. Some concerns from Shell's point of view in terms of Paddy Barrett and Oran Casey apparently picking up injuries. But that's a frustrating night for Waterford missing that penalty, and for Shell's just on what we were following during the game.
Yeah, no, I think the 2 injuries for Barrett and Casey, in addition to the result, look, it seems like Galway, look at cliches, dogged or whatever, but I mean, it's good for them given how things went against them on the opening night, and given the commentary around the players they've lost. But Shells will be disappointed. The injuries are just more of a concern. Does that make them do something before Sunday that they mightn't have thought? I don't know if that's the case or not. They missed Barrett for a while last year, and it really hurt them. And then Waterford Sligo Rovers, I said it was a nasty game, a game neither side really wanted to lose, and they haven't. Sounds like it wasn't great, the missed penalty, the obvious talking point, but maybe Sligo Rovers happier going home, just stopped the bleeding a little bit after last week.
Well, the first full 5 games on a Friday night in the 2026 League of Ireland season certainly weren't short of talking points, and you can follow all the latest League of Ireland reaction and reports on the Irish Independent's website tonight and across the weekend. Thanks for watching.